Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for our final collab for this batch. We've done 3 things already today, which hopefully you'll have already seen over the past weeks or whatever. So go and check those out if you haven't seen them yet. But today we're going to be talking about the big question of when Doctor Who should be broadcast. What time of year, what time of week, what time of day. All that lovely stuff that fans love to get really obsessed over, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of stats to start us off.
Ooh.
Just simple things really, but I counted all the series that have been broadcast in spring and autumn because there are 2 main slots for the new series.
Sure, yeah.
And we will probably be talking about the new series predominantly in this video, although we might touch on the classics as well. So series 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 10 have been broadcast in spring, as in full series, with series 6A as well, part 1, in spring, and series 7B as well in spring. And then in terms of the autumn, we have had series 6 part 2, series 7 part 1, series 8, 9, 11, and we're going to have 13 as well.
Alright, so more weighted towards the later series that they've been
in the autumn.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the stats, so full series broadcast in the spring 6, full series broadcast in the autumn 4, including series 13, and then if you include the little mini half seasons as well, that's 8 in the spring and 6 in the autumn. Obviously there's an outlier here as well, which is series 12 broadcast in the winter, which seems, it's a weird way of putting it, but it was in the winter months, January and February. So let's just go straight off the bat, and I suspect we perhaps have slightly different preferences here. Are you more of a spring person or an autumn, or is it more complicated than that?
That's a good question, actually.
That was my sort of prediction, but I don't know.
What, you think that you're more in favour of the autumn series?
I would say so.
Well, autumn's certainly like what traditionally Doctor Who has been,
yes,
like
November,
autumn nights, yeah. Where, I don't know, I do quite like the spring actually, but it is nice to have the series in the run up to Christmas really, and have it at the end of the year to look forward to.
Yeah.
I've never actually thought which I preferred. I probably should have done before we did this video, but yeah. So you prefer the autumn?
I think I would say so. Probably the main thing I remember, anecdote time, but I was watching like Lie the Land, I think, series 10, and in our sitting room we hadn't got any blinds yet, and one of the windows got shutters anyway, so that was no, we weren't going to be closing down, it was too complicated, just stuff in front of them. So my experience of watching Lie the Land was not tainted, but you had the sun, shining through the windows onto the screen, and it's just, that is the sort of thing I associate on the one hand with the spring broadcasts. With the other hand, I mean, to be fair, that's kind of getting more into the summer months, like June, isn't it? On the other hand, particularly in the RTD era, and particularly as a kid, got fond memories of the series starting on Easter Saturday and then running for 13 weeks or whatever. And it just, I don't know, it always, I'll give it that it always felt quite fresh in that slot, I guess, because of that little Easter link, and spring, being broadcast in the spring in a time of flowers and stuff coming back to life. But yeah, I think for me, the thing that makes autumn better is that you don't have that issue of the sun shining in. I mean, I guess it's a case of whether you've got blinds or not,
of course,
and like stuff like that. But I think when the sun is setting earlier and the nights are darker, evenings are darker, that's when Doctor Who works best, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
But,
I mean, that like I say, is that's what Doctor Who's known for. Really, it's the scarier time of year. But you're right. I liked it. I liked it being in the spring in terms of. So series 10 was in the spring. Series 10 was. Oh right.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Well then, I mean.
The exact same broadcast, because only 12 episodes in series 10, 13 in series 2, but apart from Doomsday, those first 12 episodes of both seasons are broadcast on the same dates, I think. They both began on the 15th of April.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, maybe I do kind of like that, because Series 10 is one of my favourites, Series 5, Series 4, all sort of broadcast in the spring, and I have a lot I mean, it obviously depends really, but I do have a lot better memories
of course, yeah,
of those kind of series. Like series 11, I don't know, it was an odd one for me because it was in that kind of time of Dark Knight. It's just a bit kind of I don't know, a bit grey and a bit just a different vibe. You're right. You're never really going to get the Doctor Who like slap bang in the middle of the year, are you? It's going to be one of the other extremes, really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what feeling do you have? Any particular feelings to the winter slot or the January and February slot, series 12?
I quite liked that.
Yeah,
actually.
I like that.
I enjoyed that
was
change,
nice.
and I thought it was quite a nice way to really kick off the year. What turned out to be a very interesting year.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I did enjoy that.
Yeah,
I thought that
I
it was
think
a
as
good
well
change of
because
pace.
yeah, and January particularly for a lot of people, or just generally, can be a bit of a down time. With the Dark Nights, and it's just after Christmas, and it's that sort of slump. So having Doctor Who on then,
it was nice to have that going back to work and back to uni.
Exactly,
and back,
it brightens up those those Dark Nights, both in that slot and the autumn slot. I think for me, I would say, and because in terms of classic stuff as well, some of the which one in terms of that slot, January, February, etc. So the Peter Davison seasons, I think, were in that slot. Possibly.
I can't remember. I know for a fact that they were on Mondays and Tuesdays. They weren't on Saturdays.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, I've definitely Pertwee seasons started at the start of the year. Like Three Doctors and Day of the Daleks. Most of them started from January. Some Tom Baker series crossed over into that because of where they started and things like that.
Yeah, and they had that little split, didn't they?
I mean, a lot of them did because they were so much longer because they were split up.
Yeah.
What I prefer is maybe perhaps not just it to be at a certain point of the year, but it to always be in a certain point, a certain time of the year, and there's sort of consistency so that every year we have Doctor Who to look forward to at that moment in the year. Like, I don't think of a program like The Apprentice always used to be at the end of the year, and you always knew, it comes up at later in the year, doesn't it? Whereas Doctor Who very much recently has kind of been, when's it on? I don't know. I think it's on soon. I don't know. Like people are still asking, like, so when's the new series on? Don't know. I would like some consistency so that we can always look forward to. I'm sure the production, think how things have been recently. It's kind of throwing things up in the air. I would like to have something to always look forward to and go, well, there we go. This is Doctor Who time of the year, whether it is in autumn or it is at the start of the year or whatever.
I do, I do get that to an extent, I think. I mean, I think the fans sort of love... I mean, it's a different discussion, but like with viewing figures and stuff, and which we're not really basing this on, any of it, but like there's a lot of sort of, not speculation, but like fans love to sort of say about, wouldn't it be great if the series were on same time every year and everyone in the public knew, and general public and all this, Joe Public, all that sort of stuff, which I think is perhaps a little bit of a inaccurate view of things, because like a lot of other big shows don't necessarily have that exact same, like similar slot, I guess, like, or some that return every 2 years, things like your Line of Duty or your Broadchurch or whatever. I think Broadchurch started off in a summer slot originally and then moved to like second series in January, February, I think, and then like slightly later on in the year for series 3. I don't know, I mean, I don't have the figures, I don't know, but whether that having a more consistent slot would sort of be backed up by the data or not. I do get the argument for it,
because it would give a sense
that rhythm, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and a sense that of brand consistency almost. They were really pushing that kind of sense of things. Like, I'm glad that they've maybe stuck with the New Year slot recently, because it means that we've at least known.
Yes, out of everything, that's the one consistent thread, isn't it?
Yeah,
because it's going to remain consistent for the next year at least.
We're getting a New Year special then.
They've said, I think the first of the...
Oh, it's going to be New Year and then...
The little 2 standalone ones,
Maybe we'll get an Easter one, like Planet of the Dead, or something then. For, like, as in New Year, Easter,
like
and then...
New Year, Spring,
Centenary.
And then, so who knows?
Because when is the Centenary?
October. So I think everyone's thinking it's going to be...
It makes sense.
October sometime.
So we might get 4 episodes next year of New Year, Easter-ish kind of time, October kind of time. In fact, exactly the same as Near Enough, obviously on New Year's
Yes.
to David Tennant specials.
And actually, when a bit of a sidetrack here, but when that news came out, actually one of the things that I didn't mention in the video earlier is that about Children leaving is that I am sort of excited by that idea of the specials again. Like, sure, you're not getting as much for your buck, perhaps. Oh, well, it's a silly argument anyway, really. But because we don't know anything about the budgets and stuff, but production, and the constraints. But I do strangely have fond memories of that specials year. Like, yes, it wasn't on
constantly.
Well, yeah, it wasn't. As long a run. It was just like standalone stories.
But it really meant each episode was
and I guess like I think it's that thing you're saying about having something to look forward to as well.
Yeah.
Like you have your spring one, then your autumn one, then your Christmas and New Year. I did quite like that approach. I don't know if they could do that all the time, but I'm looking forward to seeing it again
how they do
next
it.
year. Yeah.
Perhaps it's their way of sampling as well, because they'll be able to go, oh well, this time of year seems to work particularly well, or whatever. Because it would be nice to have a rhythm to it, just to be always a bit more certain about it, because it does feel like sometimes the show does get thrown around the schedules in terms of, is it on at 7? Is it on at 7:15? Is it on at 7:30? And all that sort of stuff. It would be nice to have a set time.
Because they were pretty good at that for series 12, from what I remember.
I can't remember the exact times, to be honest.
I think it was about 7.
Maybe
they
were
consistent each week, or for most of them.
That rings a bell. I think they were pretty good actually recently.
Yeah,
but certainly like in
in
Capaldi's time, it was on at like sometimes 6:15. Then the next week it would be on 7:30. I wonder what the latest episode.
This rings a bell. I think
one of Capaldi's. I reckon
about. Yeah, I want to say like The Caretaker or something like that.
Do you think? Like almost 8 o'clock.
Well, I want to say 8:30, but I'm not sure if that's right. Well, maybe 8:20 or God, that seems ridiculous, doesn't it?
That does seem very strange.
That's just what comes to mind from stuff I've.
But it was just almost because it feels like, and obviously it's not as simple as this, or maybe it is. Just squeezing it in wherever fits. But schedules are hard to put together, and it is hard to juggle, especially Saturday night entertainment. And whether they're putting it up against. I mean, one of the reasons I think they maybe changed Capaldi's screen time around was because it's up against X Factor and all these different other programs on the other side. So maybe they shifted
like the
around.
rugby when Series 9 was on. I remember it was up against the rugby. I think.
Yeah.
Strange thing, but it did show in the figures and feedback and stuff. And again, I think it's something that fans get a bit hung up over, perhaps, like it being on at the same time. Like we will still watch regardless. I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but at the same time, that argument, consistency, exactly,
and it's ultimately
it's nice.
It's their choice to put it whenever.
Yeah.
And the show is getting viewing figures, it's getting people watching. They wouldn't deliberately say, oh, let's mess it about timing-wise, and then go, oh, that's weird, no one's watching. They're not outly trying to sabotage the show by putting it on at random times. No. By no means is that saying they don't care about the show, it's just perhaps that it'd be nice to have a level of consistency, Certainly the changing view times, the changing air times doesn't reflect any of that. I don't think. I can't see it being as simple as simple as that. I think that's a bit conspiracy nut kind of.
Yeah, but that thing you're saying about the consistency and how it fits into the lineup as well. Like, I remember one of the things I thought was quite nice about Series 12 was that you had, I think pretty much every week, you had your episode of Doctor Who around 7 o'clock or whatever, or 7:10, and then Call the Midwife afterwards. Yeah. And when that was on, that was a nice little lineup of those two shows, and your family drama for
was it Strictly,
Sundays.
No, Strictly would have been at the end of the year, wouldn't it? But that used to be the kind of Strictly would end, and then Doctor Who would come on.
Yeah, back in the day.
All the other weird game shows that used to try the hand before Doctor Who. Like, do you remember Don't Scare the Hair?
No, I can't say I do.
Used to be on before. I think it was in Series 6, Series 7 sort of time. Oh, so maybe Series 5 actually.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to look back at some of those schedules.
Yeah.
Because there are accounts on Twitter, aren't there, that post the schedules for when. Like,
Yes, there is. Yeah, for really old.
Someone do that for new. That'd be great. It's a day of the week as well. Do you have any particular preference there, or?
Well, yeah, because obviously we had the big change recently. In terms of Jodie, I say recently, 3 years ago. For Jodie's stories being broadcast.
I think it's safe to assume
Sundays.
they're going to continue with that.
Very likely.
I think so.
I mean, I personally,
you don't know, but
I still would prefer Saturdays because for me, I like having Saturday to be like, oh yeah, Doctor Who's on tonight, can't wait to watch it, and then have a nice lie on Sunday.
Sunday to recover.
Whereas Sunday, it kind of feels like, especially for Series 11, it felt like I'd watch Doctor Who and then I'd be like, oh, I've got to go up for uni or for whatever tomorrow. Just from, I suppose it's a selfish point of view. I really would have liked it to be in like,
Saturday.
you get a day afterwards to sort of properly relax.
Digest, yeah.
But that's more of a me problem. That's not.
No, I can get that. Like, I remember that it was always nice when it was on a Saturday to rewatch it on Sunday or make a review or something.
I mean, that makes sense because it means that people will rewatch it if they're excited about it because it'd be like, oh, I've got time to. Whereas if they're at work the next day, they can't really do that.
Yeah. Unless
you were like me and watched Fugitive the Jadoon sat behind the desk like discreetly because I was like, I've got to watch this episode again. So yeah, that almost works. And also like in terms of reviewers and things like that, a lot of people want to do those kind of things and it's harder. They won't change it for Jodie's series obviously, but
it does seem to be the way, and this is not saying anything new particularly, it does seem to be the way for a lot of dramas at the moment.
Exactly, yeah. Which is a good sign because it shows that the BBC treats it in that sort of, this is a big show that we want to give the same kind of respect as we do Line of Duty and all these other shows.
Exactly, yeah. I don't think there's an argument to say that they're deliberately doing anything by putting it on Sunday. I think the opposite. Yeah, exactly. And particularly with the way Series 13 seems to be being marketed as like event series, one story, whatever. Line of Duty, different ball game, really, but it is that sort of thing. Like in terms of recent examples, it looks like they're hopefully going to be marketing that in a similar sort of way. And I remember the most recent series of that, there was so much hype for each episode, so hopefully they can recreate that, for Doctor Who, or do their own spin on that.
Yeah, I think they will stick with Sundays inevitably.
Yeah.
I think there's no financial well, not really financial, but there's no gain from moving it back to Saturdays anymore.
I think it's safe to say they won't go back to the weekdays again, like in the Davison era.
No, I really can't see that happening.
And there's 80s, Mondays, Tuesdays.
Because 2 years
Mondays,
later, and they're
Thursdays.
airing it on Thursday night.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Help.
Yeah, well, that's what they did with Class, didn't they? When they broadcast Class on television, they put it on like a Wednesday night or something at like stupid. 12 o'clock. But yeah, I can't see them changing that on that front. But whether, we'll have a new Doctor in by the end of next year, one would imagine.
Yeah, I hope so.
But it'd be weird if they didn't do a special at Christmas. Well, no, because Capaldi regenerated at Christmas, didn't he? So maybe we're just so used to having something in that slot. Maybe they're doing another New Year special. Maybe they'll do a Christmas special with a new Doctor. But would that tell us something about the placing of the next series? Or perhaps they'll work on the series so that the Doctor can debut at sort of spring kind of time the next year as opposed to in the autumn. Interesting
to see which way they swing with it.
Because I reckon if there's a special, like a Christmas special or a New Year special with a new Doctor at the end of 2022, then that would indicate to me that the rest of that series would happen in the autumn. Whereas if there wasn't that, then perhaps they might get one in the spring. Who knows?
I mean, a lot of people sort of said do the thing like Tennant where you have introduced them in a special and then
I would like that. I would like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of mad. This will be the first time since Tennant that we've had a Doctor not regenerating at Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, which is good.
It's a weird thought. Like for the past 3 Doctors, they've all been introduced into regeneration at Christmas.
Yeah.
And / New Year. And then they had their 4 series. Whereas on this occasion, it could well be that, but
it's the first.
Yeah, exactly.
Full episode, isn't it?
Who knows? Who knows how that will be dealt with?
So I guess that's about it for this one, really. I haven't really got 20 particular conclusions.
No, I don't know. I don't know what the verdict is on that. Really,
well, do let us know in the comments. When you
do think August.
prefer it being on. Yeah, I think so, but I can see the argument for spring as well. That winter slot for Series 12 was one that I really enjoyed as well, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was winter, wasn't it? It's an odd thought.
It's
isn't
very
it?
weird saying it like that, but it was winter. So yeah, let us know in the comments what time of year, time of week, time of day you think Doctor Who should be on.
I think it should be on in summer at 1 on a Wednesday.
There
I
we
think
go.
That's the
Perfect.
new slot for Doctor Who, personally.
Fantastic. Let us know. And go and watch our other stuff.
Yes.
Subscribe to both of us.
Yes.
Like the video,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. I guess maybe the next time you see us, Series 13 might have been on or started, or
Who knows? I mean, yeah, Series 13 might be next week for all we know. Literally.
In fact, that'd be a good place. Just briefly, just end. I mean, when do you have any idea of when it's going to be? Because a lot of people have said it's going to start on Halloween. I can't see that myself.
When would that be? 30th October.
31st.
31st of October. What date is that?
It is a Sunday.
It is a Sunday.
I mean, it's possible.
Unless
it's possible that the show will be on that day, but I can't see it starting.
I can't see it starting then. No, I reckon that this,
to be honest,
Weeping Angel episode, and we know there's going to be Weeping Angels.
Yes.
Thank you, Stephen
At least
Moffat.
one episode,
We know that we've confirmed Weeping Angels are in it because of Stephen Moffat. He's not even showrunner, he's told us that we're in it. So we know that Weeping Angels are going to be in it. I reckon that story will be possibly mid-series, maybe episode 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
And that will be Halloween, and the show will start 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're working backwards. I think
start of October.
10th of October, 17th of October.
Let's hope 10th of October.
If not, of course.
Then that'll be perfect.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And I might be seeing Time for Extra around then as well, so that would be
busy time.
Insane.
Yeah.
If that is the case.
So
so let's hope for that.
Who knows?
Let's hope for that.
Maybe by the time this goes out, it might have been announced. Maybe not.
I don't think so. Realistically, don't know.
I mean, you never know.
That's the thing with this era. You never know.
You never know.
Half the time, these things take ages to arrive, and they only arrive like 5 minutes beforehand. And then sometimes they just come out of the blue when you're shopping in Tesco's or whatever, or coming out of the shower. Yeah. So you never know.
There we go. Let us know when you want to see Series 13. Your predictions in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for watching all of these videos. I think we're both quite tired now. So.
Yeah, we've been recording since 11. And it's now nearly 4, so...
Yeah, so we hope you've enjoyed them all. And we will see you soon, or not soon, sometime, at some point, for more stuff. Probably, hopefully, maybe, reviewing Series 13, but maybe not.
If not, we'll find something else, I'm sure.
Yeah. Bye.
Goodbye. Oh, joyous.
Crikey.